What is going on, everyone? We are finally here with episode 3 of my team building series, and today I am going to be teaching you guys about baton pass. I'm just kidding. But today we're going to be learning about how to construct stall teams. The reason I am doing stall for this episode is mainly because I've gotten a lot of requests to do it, and also because my last 2 episodes pertained to a type of offense, and I figured that this time we should do something completely the opposite. Plus, it would also be better to satisfy some of the stall-oriented players out there, just because I did offensive videos for my last 2 episodes, so we gotta change it up a bit. Make sure you guys also check out episodes 1 and 2, because I won't really be explaining any concepts that I have explained in those videos for this one. Just so you guys know, I am making this video on the spot. I have the team ready that I'm going to be building, but I have no plans what to say whatsoever, so forgive me if I say anything that doesn't make sense. And without further ado, let us begin. Most of us have heard the saying, the best offense is a good defense. I think that's what the saying is, right? When you look at any offensive team, you'll see hard hitters and pretty fast-paced gameplay. Stall, on the other hand, is pretty much Pokemon that can wall opponents and gradually wear down opposing Pokemon. Stall teams generally are very slow-paced, and the Pokemon that work best on stall teams are those that have high defenses on both the physical and special levels. Residual damage is also key with stall teams, since oftentimes stall teams possess multiple entry hazards, such as Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes. However, because of the use of Defog in the current 6th generation, Stealth Rocks are good enough in my opinion, since taking the time to set up all those hazards can easily just be brushed away by a simple defogger like Latias coming in and clearing all of them away. So overall, Stealth Rocks I think is just essential enough, so you don't really waste time if your opponent has a defogger. For a stall team, synergy is key. You will need an extremely good synergy with stall teams, since one hole in the team can cause the whole thing to come crumbling down. Synergy can be covered with type variation or with walls that are versatile in the Pokemon they can deal with. You are also going to want to make sure that you have a way to clear hazards from your side of the field, remove status conditions from your team, and make sure that you have multiple ways to heal your Pokemon, while at the same time ensuring that you are able to have good coverage and deal with most of the common threats in the metagame. And I think that was a good introduction to what stall really is. So I will show you guys how to build a stall team that fits my style, I guess. As you guys know, I am a very offensive player overall, but I have been getting the hang of using stall teams. And the following stall team that I'm going to showcase is one that actually got me over 1500 on the Pokemon Online ladder for Overused, and is a modified version of the team that won me a forum challenge on the PO forums. So firstly, to begin constructing a stall team, you are going to need a Pokemon that can set up some form of hazards, because of the fact that defoggers pretty much run the 6th generation. I'm not gonna have other Pokemon that can set up spikes or toxic spikes. I'm just gonna use a Pokemon that can just set up Stealth Rocks. That's all your team really needs, just to start wearing down your opponent's Pokemon. As you all know, I'm very creative when it comes to my teams, and I'm also very picky of what I use, so I'm only going to use Pokemon I like, that I think are pretty cool. And so today I will be building a stall team featuring a really underrated, underused, underappreciated, underestimated Pokemon, Mega Aggron. And the reason I will be using Mega Aggron for the stall team is because it has really good defenses, it has the ability to set up Stealth Rocks, and with Wish support, it's really tough to kill. So I'm going to be, let's see. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to be using Aggron. I'm going to give it 176 HP, maximum attack, and maybe 80 special defense. I'm just taking the EVs right off of my team that I have here. And I'm going to give it an Adamant Nature with Aggronite. And yeah, definitely has Sturdy, which is really good, because, depending on what Pokemon you're up against, if you want to like live a hit or something on full HP and use the Sturdy up, or if you want to Mega Evolve, it's up to you. And so yeah, pretty much Aggron is going to be setting up our Stealth Rocks, creating that kind of residual damage which we need for the team, wearing down your opponent's Pokemon one by one. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Iron Head for main stab move, and Earthquake, of course, to hit Pokemon that resist Iron Head, such as Heatran, for example, Steel types, and for the final move slot, I'm gonna go with Toxic, just because Pokemon like Rotom Wash or Landorus Therian form, they will not take any damage really from Iron Head or Earthquake. So Toxic is going to be pretty useful to, again, like I said, residual damage on your opponent. Toxic does that really well. So yeah, I'm going to be using Toxic for the team. So for Mega Aggron. So yeah, we're going to keep that on there. Next up, we are going to be needing a Pokemon, like I said, that gets rid of hazards from our own side. So a Defogger will be very good for our team. Usually when you run multiple hazards on a stall team, having a Defogger on your team isn't a good idea because it gets rid of your own work. Stealth Rocks only takes up 1 turn, so having a Defogger, it's going to be pretty easy to get back Rocks up again on your side because it's only 1 turn. So a Defogger would be good for this kind of a stall team. But if you're using a stall team that has multiple hazards, if you feel like a Defogger is not going to be much of a big deal, definitely use a Rapid Spinner instead of a Defogger. That's a little thing I wanted to point out. Anyways, we're going to be using Zapdos for this team. Zapdos is another unique Defogger, another underrated one. I know a lot of people use stuff like Mandibuzz and Latias and Latios and stuff. Zapdos is a pretty good one in my opinion. So yeah, we're going to be using a Defogger Zapdos. It also pairs really well with Mega Aggron because it resists fighting and ground. And Zapdos is also a really good counter to stuff like Mega Pinsir, for example, which is pretty scary to some teams. So yeah, I'm going to be using my own custom EV spread that I made for myself. Also, the Aggron spread was also my own too. But pretty much the EVs that I'm giving it right now, the 44 special attack will allow you to beat Mega Pinsir in 1 hit, I think. I think it's because, like, I remember I was battling on the ladder. I had my Zapdos with like regular generic EVs, and Discharge, I had Discharge on my Zapdos. It didn't even kill the Mega Pinsir in 1 hit, and I really was disappointed about that. So, I kind of EV'd it in a way in which Pinsir will die to Discharge. So yeah, let's go for leftovers here, and yeah, the moves that we're gonna have are Discharge, Heat Wave, which are pretty good coverages side by side because Heat Wave is going to be good against Grass-type Pokemon such as Ferrothorn, which resists the Discharge and stuff like that. And we're gonna have Roost because Roost is very important. Like I said, because it's important for stall teams that most or all of the Pokemon you have a way of recovering. Roost is very good in that sense. Like I said for Mega Aggron, just because, even though it doesn't have a recovery move, we're gonna have a Wish Passer or Wish support for this team. So that's gonna be really useful. And finally, Defog. Very important that you have some way of getting rid of hazards on your side, and I explained about that. So yeah, and yeah, so we have 2 Pokemon right now, and so far it's looking pretty good. Our next Pokemon that we're going to use is actually okay. So as you before that, notice that the Pokemon that I choose for a stall team are very good with defenses, very good defensively. So make sure that the Pokemon you guys choose for your stall team have very good defenses. So that's also very important, and also make sure that you keep a Pokemon that can, either heal itself or heal other teammates on your team. That's very important. So yeah, the next Pokemon that we're going to end up using is I'm going to be using Quagsire for this team. I'll tell you why. Because Quagsire has the ability Unaware. For a stall team, you want to make sure that you don't have any of your opponent's Pokemon setting up on you in any way. Or, if they do, you have to have a way of either phasing them or a way of stopping them. Because Pokemon such as, really heavy Swords Dance sweepers, such as, I don't know, Swords Dance Haxorus maybe, I don't know. Like, you're going to want to make sure that these kinds of wall breakers don't break your stall team. And one way of doing that is keeping a Pokemon with Unaware on your team. Unaware is the ability that makes sure that any stat boosts are negated on your opponent's side. So a Pokemon that sets up Dragon Dance or Swords Dance, for example, it's not going to do anything to Quagsire, which is very useful. Just because, you don't want your stall team to get ripped apart by something that sets up on you behind your back or something. So yeah, I'm going to be using max defense, max HP, and I'm going to be giving it a relaxed nature just because it's useful to have on Quagsire to have Scald and Earthquake. Not Earth Power, because if a Pokemon starts setting up Calm Mind on you. I mean, like, there are a lot of Pokemon. I mean, like, I know that nothing can set up on this thing, but it's always good to have a mix of stuff, just because if a Pokemon decides to like substitute or something, you'll have both Scald and Earthquake. Like, I'm thinking, like, for example, Jirachi. If a Jirachi like substitutes or something like that, Earth Power might not break its substitute because of its naturally good special defense, but yeah, you know, Earthquake is pretty good too. Going to be using Haze, as I was joking in the beginning of this team building guide episode. I was saying that I was going to do Baton Pass. But Baton Pass is really annoying for stall teams. You know, because if you have like something that roars or Dragon Tails or something, they can just hide behind a sub and pass to an Espeon or something. Baton Pass is going to be really annoying for stall teams, so I'm going to keep Haze on Quagsire just to you know, mess around with those kinds of people that use them. I'm sure we can all agree that Baton Pass can be annoying to face. So yeah, Haze is pretty useful. And I'm going to have Recover because, once again, recovery moves are very useful on stall teams. And I'm going to be giving Quagsire the leftovers. Yeah, like I said, I'm doing this on the spot, so forgive me if I ramble on or something like that. Anyways, next thing we are going to need is a Pokemon that can maybe Wish Pass, I think, or Wish, yeah, some kind of Wish support, some kind of Pokemon that can, I remember I also mentioned that we, for stall teams, that we should have a Pokemon that can, you know, what is the word? It's a Cleric, I think, that's what it is. It's a Pokemon that can pretty much get rid of your other Pokemon's status conditions. So like a Pokemon with Heal Bell or Aromatherapy, for example. And what better Pokemon than Big Blissey? Yeah, we're going to be using Blissey for this team. Enormous amount of HP and defense, and, well, not really defense, but, you know, it's has a good amount of bulk overall, and, you know, it's really good in sponging hits from special attackers, and, you know, it can even take some physical hits, some kinds of physical hits. It's just pretty good overall. So yeah, definitely we're gonna have Heal Bell so that we can make sure that you know, if one of our Pokemon gets toxic or Will-O-Wisp or something bad happens, or some freeze hacks or something that we don't like, you know, we got Blissey. We can bring Blissey in, go for the Heal Bell, and, you know, just annoy the crap out of your opponent. And yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to have a combination of Wish and Protect. I'm not going to use Soft Boil on Blissey for the stall team just because Wish support is very useful, especially for Pokemon that can't recover, like Mega Aggron. We can just Wish, bring in Mega Aggron on a safe switch in, and, you know, heal it up, and, you know, just keep going from there. And, you know, stall teams, like I said, it's going to take up a whole bunch of turns. Stall teams are very slow paced, and, you know, Wish and Protect can fulfill that really well. And finally, the last move is Seismic Toss, just because, you know, that's pretty much standard on Blissey, so I'm just going to keep Seismic Toss there. Pretty good fill-in, and it's good for doing some consistent damage. And, okay, so the final two Pokemon. So notice what we have here. We have a special wall. Don't let the defense fool you. It's a special wall. We got a physical wall here. Pokemon that can stop setup sweepers and pretty much stop Baton Pass teams as well. And then we have Zapdos, which is our defogger, which pretty much clears out our hazards. It's also a physically defensive wall, our counter to stuff like Mega Pinsir, for example. And then we have Aggron, which sets up our Stealth Rocks. Very physically defensive, but when it Mega evolves, I think its special defense stat increases too. I'm not sure, but very defensive Pokemon overall. And so for the last two slots, because for me, I'm really not a stall player, I am going to be actually using two Pokemon that are really bulky, very, very bulky, but they are going to be setting up Calm Mind and Bulk Up, for example. And let me explain why this fits on a stall team, because overall they are very defensive, and they are very stall oriented, because first of all, okay, so I'm going to be using Clefable, first of all. Let me just do the EVs and stuff for Clefable. Clefable is going to be really useful on a stall team because, first of all, Magic Guard is going to be useful. For a stall team, you're going to need a Pokemon that can take Leech Seed. So you can either keep a Pokemon that's a Grass type, or you can keep a Pokemon that has Magic Guard, which can avoid the effects of Leech Seed, for example. And this is really useful because a Pokemon like Ferrothorn can be really annoying for a stall team if it just keeps Leech Seeding you and just keeps regaining health. So a Pokemon like Clefable can help with that a lot. So yeah, we're going to be using Magic Guard Clefable with Calm Mind. Soft Boil, and then Moonblast and Flamethrower are pretty good coverage moves for Clefable. And yeah, I mean overall, just because you're using a stall team doesn't necessarily mean you can't have some form of offense on it. Especially since the Pokemon that you should be using is, mainly defensive. And if you look at Clefable, it's really defensive. So yeah, Clefable will definitely fit on the stall team, even if your purposes are for offense. And you can see that you have Soft Boil here, so it does fit stall pretty well. And for the final Pokemon I'm going to be using, it's going to be Conkeldurr. Just because, Conkeldurr is also really, really bulky. It could be on a bulky offensive team, but the way I'm going to EV it's like a stall-oriented Conkeldurr. And I'll show you why. I'm going to be using Max Special Defense, Careful Nature, which really boosts the special defense a lot. It's going to work without the Assault Vest in this way. Its attack may not be that strong. However, we are going to be using Bulk Up, then the combination Drain Punch, Mach Punch, and I could go for Knockoff, but I prefer to use Payback, I think, just because after you knock off a Pokemon, if you knock off a Pokemon's item, then knockoff base power drops. Whereas for Payback, you can it's consistent power. It's like it's like 100 power, I think, right? It's 50, but power is doubled if the user strikes after the opponent. And Conkeldurr's slow, so it's always going to attack last. So almost always for Payback, which is really useful. So that's pretty good. Also useful because for stuff like Egg Slash, for example, Payback's gonna go last. It's gonna tank a Shadow Ball. Egg Slash is gonna go into its offensive form, and Payback is just gonna knock it out in one hit. So yeah, that's really useful. So I mean, like these are offensive Pokemon, very defensive Pokemon as well, very versatile. So I mean, I think they pretty much fit on a stall team, in my opinion. It's just my playstyle. Like I can't really go with all Pokemon that just can't. I can't go with like complete stall. But like a lot of stall teams have Pokemon that can probably set up other hazards like spikes and stuff like that. But this is like a stall team that fits my playstyle, and it works as a stall team because all the Pokemon, like I said, are very defensive, and they can wall a lot of other Pokemon. So yeah, so here's the team overall. And we're going to be trying it out on the ladder. So, if you have any other questions about stall teams, let me know in the comments. But, just to sum this up really quickly about the team building process, we got a Pokemon that can set up Stealth Rocks, which is useful, and Toxic, which gives some residual damage to your opponent. We got a Pokemon that can deal with the hazards that are set up on your side by defogging them. And Discharge will also cause, a good, is it like 30%? 30% of paralysis, which can be pretty useful at times, and it's very defensive. Then we got Quagsire, which will stop setup sweepers, stop baton pass teams with haze, and yeah, I mean, like for example, a Pokemon like Mega Gyarados, for example, they have the ability Mold Breaker. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that. Even like Haxorus, for example, has Mold Breaker. So Unaware is not going to do much. But if you have Haze, you can clear all the stat boosts away, just in time before it sweeps you or something. I don't know. But it's pretty useful overall. And Scald has a good chance of burning. I think it's also again 30%. So Quagsire is very useful on a stall team. Similarly, if you don't want to use Quagsire for an Unaware Pokemon, you can always use Clefable. There's a good Clefable set for Unaware, which is Calm Mind, Heal Bell, Moonlight, and Moonblast, so you could also try that too. But I really recommend using a Pokemon with Unaware because, it's very useful, and nobody's always going to be using Mega Gyarados or not Mega Haxorus, what am I saying? Not many people are going to be using Haxorus a lot, so Unaware is really useful, which is good. And not finally, but then we have our Blissey, which is our special wall, and our Cleric and our Wish support, which is very useful to have on any team. Another example of Pokemon that can Wish support are Florges, for example, Umbreon. Those are also really good on stall teams too. So when you're building a stall team, just make sure you have like the basics, like hazards, status conditions, Pokemon that can remove them from your side, Pokemon that can remove hazards from your side. Wish support, Cleric, Pokemon that can stop sweepers. That's all about what a stall team is. And you know, having Clefable and Conkeldurr are pretty useful on this team, mainly because I kind of like want to finish in a way where you can sweep and stuff like that. And having these kinds of sweepers on a stall team are pretty useful. Not the offensive kinds like Dragonets and stuff. That doesn't really go on a stall team. But you know, these kinds like Bulk Up and Combine, the really bulky ones, can go on it, provided that most of your team is stall oriented, which this is. So yeah, that's my stall team, and yeah, I'm going to be testing it on the ladder to show you guys. And yeah, I'm going to pause the video, and I will see you guys on the Pokemon Online simulator. See you guys there soon. And yeah, here we are on the Pokemon Online simulator, and we're going to be trying out the team that we just put together. So yeah, let's go for it. I'm going to be finding a battle right now, and yeah, let's see how we do. Hopefully we get someone. Regirock, Helioptile. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to be leading off with my Aggron right here. I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks. I could take the hit. Aggron is pretty bulky. I got out my rocks. It does not look like he has it. Oh, his Togekiss might defog, but that's fine. I'm going to go into Blissey here. I'm going to go for the Heal Bell. Not Heal Bell. The Wish, sorry. I'm going to go for the Wish. Just to scout out what he's going to do next. I just want to see what this guy's up to. I think he might, yeah, he goes into his Regirock here. And what I could do now, I could pretty much take any hit he throws at me. And yeah, I could heal off all the damage that I got. And what I could do now, like I said before, Aggron is good. If a Pokemon has good defenses but does not have a recovery move, you know, keep Pokemon that can wish, some wish support on your team. Anyways, what we're going to do now is we are going to go for an Iron Head. I knew that he was going to go back into his Gengar because he probably would have predicted Earthquake. You know, so yeah, he's probably, okay, he goes into Heliolisk. Did I say Helioptile at first? I meant Heliolisk. Alright, anyways, I'm going to go for the Earthquake right here. Okay, he probably is going to go... Okay, he goes into Tangrowth right here. I can go for the Toxic right now. See, these defensive Pokemon that you can't really hurt with Iron Head or Earthquake, you can definitely Toxic. So, yeah, that's going to be good. What I could do now is I could go into my Zapdos right here, avoid the Earthquake, and go for the Heat Wave. Knock out his Tangrowth. Oh, we didn't get rid of Regirock. We got rid of Gengar. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our Quagsire, and we can take the Stone Edge and go for the Scald. No, Helioptile's out there with the Dry Skin, I think. I'm going to go for the Earthquake. Yeah, there we go. And, yeah, this is a pretty easy battle. Let's get another one. Hopefully we'll get someone who's better. Alright, well, the team looks a bit more, well constructed, I guess. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna lead off with our Aggron again, and he starts off with a Scizor. We're gonna go for the Stealth Rocks. We can take any hit he throws at us, even that superpower. I'm pretty sure that was Choice Banded too. So this Mega Aggron has a lot of defense. We're gonna go into Zapdos at this point. What I'm thinking now is he's probably gonna go into Tyranitar or something. I'm gonna double switch. I'm gonna make a double switch into my Conkeldurr. Okay, he goes into his Gliscor, which is perfectly okay, just because I can just bulk up and payback him. This bulk up Conkeldurr has always been able to beat Gliscor, so yeah, I'm gonna go for the bulk up. I'm pretty sure nothing on his team can beat this thing. He has Aerial Ace. Okay, wow, I did not expect that. I think we should be able to live and go for the Drain Punch. Not quite. Okay, that's a mistake on my part. It's fine. Okay, so he's definitely Choice Banded. I'm going to go for the Heat Wave at this point. If he goes back into Gliscor, that's fine. I did not expect Aerial Ace at all. Alright, that was a little unexpected there, but that's fine because we can just go for the Heat Wave. And whatever he brings in should take some damage. And it's going to burn Tyranitar anyways. I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah, so it should be good. Alright, yeah, so he brings in Gliscor. We go for the Heat Wave right here. We could bring in Clefable now, because Clefable has Magic Guard. It can resist the Toxic. See, like that, so it's not going to have any damage going on it. I'm actually going to go for Flamethrower right now. There we go. Yeah, that was a good idea, because he could have brought that in and went for a Bullet Punch. So, yeah, and I think we pretty much have the game, I think. There's nothing really that can beat Clefable. I mean, Suicune can definitely Combine War it, but I think in the end I think I have a strong advantage, so I think this is pretty much the game right here. Unless he has Trick on that thing. I hope he does not have Trick. He had Trick. Alright, that's another thing that's pretty bad. Oh well. We could just Moonblast now. I think we're not going to switch out or anything at this point. So yeah, we got rid of his Rotom. We can go for another Moonblast. Yeah, and he's going to probably Protect again. We can go for another Moonblast after that and take him out. Go for another one, I think. And, okay, so we are faster than the Suicune. I do have Unaware. I probably might need a Phaser for the team. Maybe. I don't know. I think if I wasn't tricked, though, I could easily beat the Suicune. But let's just hope we get some good rolls on this. Let's hope he doesn't Combine up or anything like that. Okay. Let's get a crit. Oh, I called it. I called it right there. I called it. Not bad. Not even bad. You guys heard me. I just called it. I just called a crit. Alright, he goes for the Dragon Dance. I'm gonna go for the Moonblast right here. Yeah, and he's probably gonna send out his. Okay, he sends out Latios, excuse me. And what we could do now, he probably has Side Shock, but you know, it doesn't really matter. Wait, what is? We took out his Tyranitar, right. Okay. What is it? His Gliscor is at 46%. He has Ice Beam on that thing. I didn't. Okay, whatever. Go for the Wish right here, and yeah. So he. If we go for the Wish, we could probably bring in Aggron. Maybe. Alright, he quit. Alright, I think we could probably get one more battle. Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's get one more. We have 2 wins so far, so let's see if someone will beat us. I guess the reason I have small variations is because I am actually decayed on this account, so. Alright, so yeah, this looks like a pretty standard-ish looking team. I see Espeon there, which might be annoying. Espeon's Magic Bounce is pretty annoying for stall teams, but you know, you can get around it anyways, so. Let's lead off with our Aggron. He starts off with his Heatran, and I want to think he's going to set up Stealth Rocks, but I really can't be sure. I might just play it safe and go into Blissey, but overall I'm not really sure. I think I'm just going to go for the Earthquake. Okay, wow, okay, that's fine. That worked out for us. Alright, that's not bad at all. Mega Aggron's really good. Like I said, it's really underrated, and I kind of want to see more of it on the ladder, so. Anyways, he sends out his Conkeldurr. Our counter to that is Clefable. And I'm pretty sure he's going to go right into his either Mawile or Scizor. I'm just going to go for the Flamethrower. That wasn't enough to beat it. Gonna go into Zapdos now. He goes for the Bullet Punch, and I'm just gonna go for the Heat Wave. It's pretty safe. He doesn't have Heatran anymore because he lost it to my Mega Aggron. I'm gonna take away Scizor, and yeah, he's probably gonna go into okay, Landorus. That's fine. Let's go into Quagsire right here. He has Substitute. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't seen too many of that before. He's gonna bring in Conkeldurr now, I think, or Espeon. That's fine. Let's go into Blissey. Uh-oh, that's not good at all. Uh-oh, okay. Go for the Wish here. He probably has like Psyshock or something. Alright, let's kill that thing. Alright, he has Shadow Ball. Alright, Ironhead did a good chunk of damage. Mega Aggron's really bulky. Really bulky. And yeah, what we can do now is we can go for another Ironhead. We should probably be able to sack this thing. And what we could do now is go into our Conkeldurr, I think. Is Mach Punch gonna take it out? Maybe. Yeah, alright, that's good. So yeah, Mach Punch took it out. He goes into his Mega Mawile now. And I think Aggron would have been useful, I believe, but we're gonna go into Zapdos anyways. He goes for the Play Rough. That's a rough play right there. I guess I could go for a Heat Wave, but he's probably gonna Sucker Punch. I'm gonna go for the Roost. Alright, so that's fine. And we could go for a Heat Wave right now. That was great. He goes for the Play Rough again. And I'm thinking he's gonna try and like Sword Dance now or something. And predict that. Yeah, just as I thought. Just as I thought. And Landorus is up next. Up next to die. So let's go for the Heat Wave right here. Break its Substitute. And just go for the Heat Wave, really. And yeah, I mean, the Zapdos isn't really that useful anymore. We can easily just, let it go. And I guess we could, just finish the game up with Clefable. I don't really see Landorus doing a lot of damage to it. Yeah, I think a Moonblast should be able to knock it out. From this range, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so he goes into his Conkeldurr, and yeah, we could just finish up the game right here with, okay, get a Soft Boil just in case. With 3 Moonblasts, 2 more should do. Or we get another crit on Moonblast. Clefable is awesome. Good game. Too late. Alright, anyways, yeah, so that's the team. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video about Stall. I may not be the best at Stall teams, but I'm trying, so let me know if you have any questions in the description. Let me know. I will help out. I'll do my best for you guys. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video overall. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos coming up. Let me know what you guys want. I mean, I do PO lives, I do these kinds of videos, I do battling and stuff. If you guys want some other kinds of things, just let me know. I'll accommodate. I'll do my best. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this Stall episode 3 of my team building series. And yeah, stay tuned for more stuff. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.